War. I would like to talk about wars actually, because it's not just the Ukraine now, right? Because it's like the Middle East and all of that shit that's going on, and then there's a risk of the Taiwan war. China attacking Taiwan now. Yeah, there's a lot of wars, and I would like to discuss wars in the context of like man's issues, sort of like masculinity, manhood, and all that. I live in Kazakhstan, which is kind of like in the epicenter of kind of like the country that's like almost like bordering, almost all of these uh, three countries that are engaging in all of the three sort of regional wars that I've just mentioned. Russia, Ukraine, we're bordering Russia, then it's China that's about to attack Taiwan. Then there's also Iran in the south, which is, well, we don't really directly border them, but sort of kind of like close. We're basically inside the triangle of evil, or whatever, Trump and generally like whatever Pentagon sort of calls these three countries, like the axis of evil, like the triangle of evil. If you look at the map, we are like in the center of it. So it's like all of that shit kind of concerns us. And living here in Kazakhstan, it's kind of like uh, I feel more about this war because I watch a lot of these videos like from the Ukrainian front lines. There's a lot of like uncensored stuff on Telegram channels. Like there's an abundance of these channels actually, and if you look at them, there's like these Russian soldiers just blowing themselves up so that they wouldn't be crippled by the drone. It's basically like a Ukrainian drone basically like hovers over like a Russian guy, a Russian like soldier. Sometimes it's like a few soldiers, and then the drone, since it caught them, and there's no escape because it's meaningless to run away because it's just too fast. It will still get you. You can't really do nothing. It's like being in a cage with a tiger or any other wild animal without any weapon. It's like you're pretty much defenseless. You're hopeless, a completely hopeless situation. So the drone just hovers over them and just basically gives them like an option to off themselves, or else the drone will just go down and fucking blast them. And if they off themselves, it's kind of like for sure, like it will be a quick death. But if the drone does it, the chance of dying is not that big. So they will survive, but they will have like half of their ass will be absent. Like, they'll be just laying there in agonizing death, dying agonizingly, basically, one of their arms like there, like half of their leg is like on the other fucking side. And it's a shitty situation that's just like has no way out but to you die quickly or slowly. And you might survive, but you might survive a drone strike, right? But if it hits you, you will still be crippled. The chances you're gonna be crippled for life. And I mean, like, isn't life hard enough? Like, especially for men. I mean, it's hard generally for men and women. But then, like, being a man, you're missing limbs. Like, especially in those countries, like not in the U.S. Like not in the developed countries. You don't have legs. You don't have arms. Like, or I saw some footage where a guy literally lost his like his entire lower jaw. That's like the guy's gonna be like feeding himself from the tube for the rest of his fucking life. I don't know. It's just, even if they give him like some freaking prosthetics, like, I don't even know if there are any prosthetics like that replace the lower jaw like completely. There's probably none of that shit. I can imagine, because it's just too hard. It's too hard because you're gonna have to. You need to move it, right? Because it's like it needs to feel natural so that you could like chew. Like So, and just I'm looking at that, and they say it's kind of like 1 million people dead on both sides, like overall, in the Ukraine war. But now they also have, well, it's about the same number of like crippled, guys. And I even know some dudes who told me, some Russian guys. I mean, because I have a lot of Russian friends. Some of them came when the mobilization was on. They kind of like hid themselves here, in Kazakhstan, sort of, so that they wouldn't have to go to the front lines. And then they, some of them told me that, well, one of them told me that his cousin just returned from the Ukraine, and he came back with no legs, basically, and he lives in some fucking remote shitty area where there's just like fucking bears and all that. And he's like the only child, and he's 19, and he only has his old sick mom. And it's like, I mean, in this situation, like, how is he gonna survive? It's like he lives in some remote area, like fucking village, and he has no legs. And apparently, I heard that all he was doing for half a year was just drinking. Just he couldn't get off of the freaking like booze. They're just freaking drinking all the time. It's just, yeah. I mean, well, I mean, he basically has no perspectives, and just a sick mom. That sick mom now has to take care of him. It's like, in this situation, I see that, and I realize that the guy would probably be better off dead, instead of returning like that. It's like, and he probably didn't even get paid, because we all know how scammy like governments generally are. But in Russia, they like, it's almost like scamming a disabled like veteran. It's almost like the norm. And there's a lot of people who are also like doing business out of it. Basically, they just scam. Or then there's also like extortion. Like, they wait for you to basically take the money that you, like, insurance money that you're supposed to get. Then they just extort you. There's like thug, like criminal sort of like groups in some Russian regions, basically. So just looking at that, you kind of feel like, oh, it's probably better if you die than you just have to drag like that freaking crazy, extremely limiting life, like almost like just only semi-functional, pretty much like dysfunctional life that you have if you're missing like limbs. It's like, do you even need that? Maybe it's better if you die. Maybe euthanasia should be enacted, if we consider that, because at least you can go, on your own terms. But if you're missing like arms, you can't even kill yourself. At this point, you can't even really kill yourself. Yeah, it's like so. Why I'm saying all of this here is just like, it's kind of like Ukraine kind of shows how it's gonna be for men nowadays, because the more sort of like war zones there are, the more chances there are that you will be sent to the front lines. Because when I see some Ukrainian, videos, they basically catch guys in the streets and they just forcefully send them to the front lines. And it's like, if a war starts, you might, that could be you too, like you might be forcefully sent. If you live in the US, it's probably unlikely, but it could happen if some like civil war, some shit like that is gonna start out, and no one's gonna ask you, right, for your voluntary sort of agreement and all that. And it's just, you could end up in the trenches. That is a possibility, and it's gonna be really shitty, because you're gonna need like really good cardio, because you have to run away from a fucking drone, and it's meaningless pretty much, because it's gonna be faster anyway. So it's a lot of men are just screwed that way. And you have to ask yourself, like, you live in your countries, like, do you have the right cause to fight? At least if you get conscripted like forcefully, do you have the right cause to fight for? Like should you even fight? yeah, like these questions arise, like you as a man, like of course, they will be, of course, they will be like pushing on your like masculine sort of points, like, hey, like be a man and all that, sort of like trying to sort of like morally force you to join the army. But you also have to ask yourself, like, should you do it? Like it's almost like, has the society done enough for me to demand my life, basically, on my health on the front lines? Like, do I have anything worth fighting for? It's kind of like that, you have to ask yourself. Because, for example, I don't think I have anything worth fighting for, because I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't have a family, right? So it's like, what's there for me to fight for? It's like, really, like, even if I get paid well, right? Because that could be a good consideration. Like, I mean, if you get paid like really well, maybe you can go. That's at least something, right? Because if you get paid like above average sort of like salaries, yeah, there is something, right? But the stake is still too high. The stake is just too high, And you need in my opinion, you need some other boost. You need some other factors. Like, if you are married, you have a great wife, and you have like at least 2 kids, and you're planning on living in this sort of country, in your country, basically, yeah, like, you should probably go if you feel like it. Yeah, even if they like conscript you, like draft you forcefully, at least, I mean, even if you might like come, like you've lost your limbs or something, like, you might come like disabled. At least there will be your wife, like your kids, they will grow up, they'll be like take care of you, But for example, for me, like, I ponder such things, and then I realize, like, what if I come like from a war, hypothetically? We don't have a war, but hypothetically, what if I come back like with missing arms? Like, the government doesn't give a fucking shit about you, right? It just doesn't care, They will be just sending some fucking, like, minor sort of like petty cash on your account, like, I don't know, like $200 per month, maybe. We're in the place where I live. That's probably what it should be. That it will be, And then who's gonna actually take care of me? My old mom, like, who's sick, like, who's gonna fucking take care of me? I don't have kids, and no one's gonna marry me because, if I'm missing arms, who's gonna fucking marry me? Like in the Ukraine, when you look at these guys, it's like some of these Ukrainian women, they leave men that don't have missing limbs, that are like totally fine. Like, there's so many Ukrainian women, they just left the country. They are in Europe. There's like millions of them, while their men are fighting. Talk about fucking equality, right? I mean, while their men are in the trenches fighting for the country, this stupid cunts are just chilling in Europe. It's like should that even be considered like being traitors, basically? Like, are these women traitors? Because how can you be in Europe, when why are you even in Europe? Like, because when your country needs you, like, what the hell? Somehow they are like the weakest sex. When the war strikes out, they become the weakest sex. Oh, I have to leave. What the fuck? It's like, no, you man, you go fight. But were you not screaming that you're equal to men? It's like, don't you have the same voting power, in the country? Like, why do you get to leave and I have to stay? It's like, it's kind of like that. And then if they all leave, do you as a man have anything to fight for? Because your woman will just leave you, and then it's just, if your wife can leave you during the wartime, talk about women, marrying you when you are already crippled. You have missing legs or arms. Like, who's gonna fucking marry you? Like, especially nowadays. Back in the days, that probably could be possible. You probably have more chances because, let's be honest, people were way more decent back in the days. Unlike today's, people are overly, consumption oriented. They consume each other, like, like they view each other as like consumption object, basically. And that's how women view men as well, like. So if you've lost your limbs, you are disabled, Who's gonna fucking marry you if you're not married? And even if you are, there's still a chance that she might leave you. Maybe if you both have like 3 kids, 2 kids, the chances are she's gonna stay with you. And that is precisely the reason why you should be the one going to the front lines, you know? But if you have no kids, like, why would you even go there? So that's like a moral framework for, you know, who should go to the front lines. Because if you are not married and you have no kids, then the government should be asking itself, like, why, how come you're not married, you know, like, and you have no kids? The answer is pretty fucking clear, because, you know, there's more men than women in the society. Someone's gonna be left without a wife, you know. And then there's a lot of women who divorce their husbands. And then there's also like, there's just too many demands for men, you know. Then there's also like hardcore crazy ass feminists, you know, who will never even consider marriage, you know. So it's like you are left with no option but to be single. And whose fault is that? You know, like, why should I go to the war when women just get to leave, but at the same time they claim that we are equal? It's like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, it's like, and why should I have a high morale to fight when, you know, when our women are just chilling, you know, and fucking fondling and fucking some foreigner dudes, you know, in a foreign land, and I have to be protecting this piece of soil here, you know, like, while our women are just chilling. It's like, what the fuck is going on, you know? This shit didn't happen in the patriarchal times when women would just get to leave completely, like, to any other country, you know. They would be evacuated but still stay within the borders of their country, of their motherland. But now, when supposedly we're equal, women get to just leave the country, like, they would be like chilling in Europe or Dubai. It's like, while you are dying for your country, like, what the fuck is going on, you know? So, in my opinion, if I don't have the moral sort of obligation to actually fight for the country because I'm not married and I don't have the kids, and I can't be hoping for the government to be like, you know, helping me out and looking after me and taking care of me after I come back from the war crippled, you know, I don't have to fight the fucking war, and it's the government's fault that it turned everything into feminist fucking piece of shit, that now even if you marry, the likelihood is you're gonna be divorced anyway. So it's like, you know, men are on the really losing side in terms of that. So if they will be trying to like forcefully conscript you, me, anyone, you know, any other man, and you feel like I'm not morally obliged because I don't have a family, you know. So, in my opinion, you have the full right to actually fight back, you know, because you don't have to. And you should not give a shit about, you know, like them. They will be just saying stuff like, well, I just have to, you know, we have to get someone. Well, you know, I have to fight back then. I'm sorry, you know. Here's a fucking knife. I'm going to stab you in your stupid fucking neck. I'm sorry too, you know. You're just making me, you know. It's kind of like that, you know. So it's a moral sort of a frame. There's going to be like a moral framework, and not everyone has to go to the war, you know. It's like I'm not even talking about like who wants to go. I'm talking about who has to go, you know. Sort of. So if you are in a potential like war zone, you have to consider, like, if you are kind of like an incel type of a dude that's not like unlucky on the dating market or something, that you feel like you've been like left out and stuff. And you should not even feel the morally obliged, probably, unless you actually want to. If you really want to go to the front lines, despite all of this, you know, shit, then go ahead. You know, like, take your bets. I wouldn't say like, no, I wouldn't say like don't go there, because if you want to like play your fortune, then why not? I mean, if that's your kink, why not, you know? But what I'm saying is that you don't have the moral right to be preaching to other guys who are not morally obliged because they have no family, because they have no stake in the state, basically, you know? For example, some guys, they might be not married, but because they just to have like they are just too much enjoying life, like too much, you know, like they have too many bitches and all that. So I mean, situations can be different, but I mean, they could be like, if you're, for example, like a state official's son, and your father is like a fucking billionaire that's leeching off the country, you should be obliged to go to the fucking war, okay? Because you are profiting from from this country too much. So the more profits you're getting, the more responsible you should be feeling. I'm sorry, your ass belongs to the front line, dude. But don't expect me to feel obliged and just fucking fight for fucking scraps when I don't even have a fucking family. No, fuck you, you know? Yeah, like, I think I've laid out the framework, and that's pretty much it for the video, guys. It's like, I think that's all I wanted to say. So, yeah, just about the war, if you are considering, maybe like, if it somehow concerns you or will concern you potentially. So, yeah, I see you in the next video, guys.